Hello, 7th graders. The lesson for April 27th is a brochure over identity theft. This brochure is actually the activity and the assessment, so there will only be one score posted in PowerSchool for this lesson. If you completed this activity when it was in the e-learning folder, I still want you to complete this assignment, but you can copy the other brochure from the e-learning folder into this new Schoology assignment. I will repost the e-learning folder so you can find your old one. To do this, you need to open the document from the e-learning folder, press Ctrl-A to select everything on the old brochure, press Ctrl-C to copy everything, then go to this new Schoology assignment and open the template for the new brochure. Then press Ctrl-A to select everything that's already in the template, then Ctrl-V to paste the old brochure in over the new assignment. I want you to do this so that you can make changes to the brochure based on the information I'm going to give you in this video. The instructions for this lesson are on the assignment tab of the assignment in Schoology, and I have a copy of it here to point out some things. The first thing I want to point out is that the lesson instructions say that the lesson will be, the method of identity theft will be assigned by the teacher. And I've decided that I'm going to let you decide the method of the identity theft. Then down below that, you can see that there's 4 questions. These 4 questions are going to be answered in your brochure. I'm going to show you a sample of the brochure later so that you can see what I'm talking about. The first question here is, what's the definition of your method of identity theft? The second question is, what did thieves do to get your information? So describe the process of doing whatever method of identity theft you chose. Number 3 is, what types of information are the thieves targeting through this method? Some methods of identity theft get different types of information, and so we want to know what they're looking for. And then 4, what can you do to protect yourself from this method of identity theft and prevent it from happening? Okay, so let's take a look at the template. In this template here, the one that you'll find in Schoology, it's just a normal Google document. It has 2 tables in it. There's a 3-column table that takes up the entire top page or first page, and there's a 3-column panel that takes up the second page. There are some notes here that you can look at as well. Now, at the top of each column, it has in parentheses a little bit of information. This tells us what panel this cell in the table corresponds to on the brochure. Now, you'll notice that panel 1 is not here in the top left. That's because if we were to print this out on a printer and then have it print both sides, and fold it, if this was panel 1, this would actually be on the inside of the brochure. The panel that, or the part that ends up on the outside after you fold it, is this panel 1 over here on page 1, the rightmost column. The one next to it to the left here ends up being the back of the brochure, so that's panel 6. And then panel 2 is the first one. After you open up panel 1, it's the second one that you see. And then the ones on 3, 4, and 5 on page 2 are all the interior of the brochure. So let's look and see what we want to have on each of these panels. On panel 1, you need to make a title for your brochure. It should use word art and not normal text. You also need to identify yourself as the creator of the brochure by putting your name and class period on panel 1. Finally, add an image or clip art picture somewhere on there. These 3 things should take up most of the space in the panel. Moving over to panel 6 here. Panel 6 is your sources panel. You'll copy and paste any of the web addresses for the information that you find, for any images that you use, or anything else. Even if you got it out of your notes from Schoology, the notes that the study guide that I gave you, you still need to cite that source. If you have any extra space at the bottom of this panel after you put all your sources in, then you can add 1 or 2 clip art images to fill up that space. That leaves us panel 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 on the page 2. And these 4 panels are for the 4 questions that we've already discussed. You could put them in any order that you want, but each question should take 1 whole panel. And just like the other panels, if you have any extra space after you've did the discussion or answered that question, then you should fill up that space with clip art or images. So in terms of the requirements, there should be at least 1 image or clip art picture on each panel. So a minimum of 6 pictures, 1 per panel. You can have more if you'd want. You shouldn't have a lot of blank space left over after you've put your text and clip art and images in there. If you do have some extra space, you can change the size of the text up to and including 28 points, but nothing bigger than that. Okay, so let's take a look at a sample brochure. This brochure I created from student brochures that were handed in previously. I took a panel from one and a panel from another and put them all together. So it's kind of a mix and match of all the ones that, or some of the ones that I've seen previously. So if we look over here, you can see it's dumpster diving, a form of identity. I changed the person's name, but you can see that this is word art here, and it's not just normal text. Then there was some extra space here, so that person put an image there. You could actually have the image in between the word art if you wanted to. On panel 6, we have just the copy and paste of the sources. There was some extra room, so we put another image. Then for 2, 3, and 4, or 2, 3, 4, and 5 panels, they answer the 4 questions. And you can see that this panel here has the clip art image where it flows around the text. This one here, they put a shape in there, and the shape does not count as an image. It's just a shape. It's just to emphasize something. But then there is another image down here, and the size of this text is a little bit different than the size of these other things, so that it could fit in there and not have a bunch of extra space. But you can see that all 4 of those questions are being answered here. We have, how does it happen? I mean, the definition of it. What information do they get? What do they do with the information? And how to protect your personal information, or how to prevent it from happening. And you can see that there is not a lot of blank space anywhere inside of this sample here. So once you have those done, the last thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you get rid of that panel text that's on there. You notice that it's not in this brochure anywhere at all. Those are there just to help you to know which cell in the table corresponds to which panel in the brochure. Once you know that, or once you have that, then you want to go back and take care of that, and so that it doesn't stay in there when you hand it in. Okay, so once again, there's only one thing that you're going to hand in for the April 27th assignment, and that's the brochure. It counts for your activity and for the assessment grade. Thanks.